Mr. O'Quinn, welcome to Stockholm.
Thank you very much.
What has Lost meant for you, both professionally and personally?
It's hard to separate professionally and personally. I take my profession very personally.
Some people feel that with the fourth season, Lost is back on top after maybe a somewhat shaky period. What's your view on that?
I think that might be the case. I haven't been aware of whether or not it was shaky. I always had a personal response to my experience on Lost, playing John Locke. Sometimes I wasn't happy. When I was in the hatch pushing a button for a whole season, I wasn't very happy. And I told the writers I wasn't very happy, and they said, "Well, John Locke's not happy, so of course you're not."
In what way has your character, John Locke, surprised you during the course of the show?
Oh, he surprises me all the time. I think, I'm a fan of the show, and he surprises me the same way he surprises fans of the show. He surprises me when I read the script, and he surprises you when you watch the show. But I can't anticipate what they're going to write for John Locke. If I try, I'm always wrong. So he's an unpredictable character, and I think that's why people like him, and that's why I like him.
What's the most common question you get about the show?
What's going to happen? Are you dead? What's going to happen? Who's going to die?
At the same time, this is a show where you never can be sure if a main character is going to live or die.
Well, that's one of the things that's attractive about the show. I mean, I think people kind of assume that Jack's not going to die anytime soon, and I think he's, there are some characters that you think are more safe than others. I don't feel like my participation in the show is guaranteed to the end, but if in fact I get killed off, I'll be sad. I really like this job, but I'll move on, and I think I've gained a lot by doing Lost.
The producers are pretty secretive about the show, but what do you think we can expect from the remaining 2 seasons?
It's like secretive doesn't even begin to explain it. It's like state secrets. It's like you could go to prison if you tell. But I expect them, and I think fans expect them, to answer all the major questions. I want to know, what's the smoke monster? I want to know who was Dharma? Why are there polar bears on the island? Where did the island go? How can that happen? Who are the others? Why is Richard Alpert the same age every time we see him? I want all these questions answered too, and I think the writers will answer these questions for us. They have an obligation, and they better come through.
Finally, we just saw here in Sweden the last episode of...
I think the smoke monster is outside right now.
Sounds like it.
Sick in the building. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
We just saw the final episode of season 4 here in Sweden, and I know there were alternate endings shot with different characters in the casket. I have to ask you though, when did you know that John Locke was the one who would end up in the casket finally?
I was told by Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse a few days before we shot the scene, and they told me, it's funny because they said, we're going to shoot 3 people in the casket so that the crew, nobody will know who's going to be in the casket. So then they took Sawyer and put him in the casket, and they filmed it once, and then they put Desmond in the casket and they filmed it once, and then they put me in the casket and they filmed it 11 times. so all the crew members said, I wonder who's going to be in the casket. So I don't think they fooled anybody, but our crew is pretty responsible. They understand that the strength of this show is in the surprise of the show. So I don't think people are going to let it out.